use it some. I do have some of those too. First off, I'd be remiss if I didn't honor two special occasions tonight. Before I get started, one of them being 39 years ago, on this exact date, February 22nd, was the marriage of our parents, John and Nancy, and also the marriage of Marjorie and James. I know it wasn't today, but without those two marriages, we would not be gathered here celebrating Sarah and Jim tonight. So, with that being said, so growing up, Sarah kept a diary. Lizzie was her name. And Sarah, she wrote diligently and beautifully in her diary. And I always happened to find it. And I would peruse her bedroom until I could find where she hid Lizzie that day and always catch up on the latest diary entries. I was an absolute brat, and I admit it. My mom is shaking her head right now, yes. But Sarah was living an interesting life, being 5 years older than me. She was having fun, and I was bored at home, so I had to catch up. And good did come out of me perusing her diary. I would typically, a lot of times, go in the mornings when she would leave for school. And I'd have to shut the door so Mom or Dad didn't see me. And behind her door is the caboodle and all the makeup and the hair station. And the curling iron, 9 out of 10 times, was on. So thank God I was reading Lizzie. Because I would run out of the room. Mom, the curling iron's on. You know, I turned that off, but I wasn't reading Lizzie. So, but you know, those diary entries don't matter tonight. Honestly, I think I might remember one, and it had to do with Andrea and staying at Andrea's dad's house. And honestly, that's all I remember. So they're not important. But what is important is how honored I am to have Sarah as my sister. And like I said, I was an absolute brat. Sarah, we would play airplane, so Sarah would lay on the floor and put her legs up in the floor, and I would be on my stomach, you know, on her, and it never failed. I would just look down and spit. Every time, right in her face. But you know, the next day we would play airplane again, and it would happen again. It was a vicious cycle that we continued to do it. And now I play airplane with my daughter, and every time I look at her, I'm just like, oh, so far she hasn't talked to Essie about it. So, like I said, I was a brat. And then there was one time Sarah went next door without me, and so I went in her room again, closed the door, probably read Lizzie, caught up, and then she was Fred Savage freak, so she had Fred Savage posters all over her room, and black light posters. So I took every poster, took all the thumbtacks out of the wall, flipped every single poster backwards on the wall. Went on her dresser, all her picture frames, just everything that needed to be forward, just backwards. So, and just left it how I found it, except everything was backwards. And she came home, and of course, you know, mad, told Dad. I had to go in and help her flip everything. Remember that? No, I don't remember. Well, so, but then I grew up, and I realized what an awesome sister I had, and how lucky I was, just how open-minded, laid back, free-spirited, just a fun-loving gal. So how many people can text or email their sister on a daily basis with a tooth report? Because we do that, and for that I'm grateful. Or for all of our uncontrollable laughing fests that we have at the most inopportune times, where we are just crying in tears, shaking with laughter, and we shouldn't be. And for those, I'm just absolutely grateful. For the wonderful Essie she is to my daughter, for that I'm grateful. For the sister that she has been and will continue to be to me, I'm grateful. For the vows that her and Jim shared here tonight before all of us, and for the life they're beginning together, for that I'm grateful. And Sarah, although Dad isn't visible in this room tonight, I assure you that he was here, as Sarah Elizabeth said, I do. He has the best seat in the house. Guaranteed it's in a tree stand with camouflage on. He has a Jim Beam in his hand, and he's raising his glass in honor of the new Mr. and Mrs. James Foley.
Yeah.
Let's give another round of applause to two great toasts.